Today we're going to practice graphing quadratic functions that are in vertex form using the OMG math method. The directions state graph the equation negative x plus 1 squared minus 6. The first thing we observe is that this is a quadratic equation. Quadratic equations are equations where the highest power is 2. Our mission is simple. Graph this equation. Our game plan is going to be similar to when we learned how to graph absolute value functions. We find the vertex hk, put the vertex in the middle of our xy chart, and then we find two other xy coordinates and graph all 3 points. So the first thing, again, we're going to do is to find our vertex. Your h value is always inside the parentheses with x, and the k is at the end. We always write our h value as the opposite of its given sign, so our h value is going to be -1 and our k value is going to be -6. That is our vertex. When we go to make our xy chart, we put our vertex in the middle, -1, -6. To pick our other 2 points, we're going to pick a point smaller than -1 that goes here. A point smaller than -1 is -2. A point bigger than -1 is 0. Now we're going to take our x coordinates and plug them into our equation to find our y values. Our y's are equal to negative x plus 1 squared minus 6. So we're going to take our x value, plug it in for x, and solve for y. It's going to be -2 plus 1 squared minus 6. Simplify our parentheses first. -2 plus 1 is -1 minus 6. Order of operations says to do exponents first. -1 squared is +1 minus 6. Then I distribute the negative on the outside. -1 minus 6 is -7. Then I plug in 0. It's going to be -0 plus 1 squared minus 6. Simplify my parentheses first. 0 plus 1 is 1 squared minus 6. 1 squared is 1. Then I apply the negative on the outside, so that's going to be -1 minus 6, which is -7. What you will notice with quadratics is that if you pick an x value equidistant from your vertex x, your y values will come out to be the same because quadratic functions are symmetrical. So now that we have our points, -2, -7, 1, -6, and 0, -7, we are going to plot those on our graph. -2, -7 is down here, -2 on the x, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on the y. -1, -6, I go over to -1, I go down to -6. And then my last point is at 0, -7, which is right here. Although my graph is cut off a little bit, I know that it will look like this. It will open down because it was negative. And then I can plot my axis of symmetry, which my axis of symmetry is the line that cuts my graph in half and makes it symmetrical on both sides. Although some teachers will prefer that you graph a quadratic with 5 points, if you needed more points, you would pick another one smaller, which would be -3, another one bigger, which would be 1, and you would plug those in to find your last two xy values. Because we know quadratics look like a U, we know that we are finished with this problem because we have graphed a function that looks like a U. Thank you guys so much for watching my videos. If you want to get better at math, subscribe to my videos here. If you want more information on math, click on my website link here.